Welcome to another episode of the Simple Man Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Brian Batisto, and I am joined today by my good friends Al Fontes and Oren Drummond, as well as our special guest, Aaron La Farge. Super excited to have Aaron on. He was a runner up for Oklahoma City University. He's coached in 3 different states. He's an MMA fighter, and he just has this really good energy and knowledge about Oklahoma. And we have a great conversation that I'm really excited to share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoy the show. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Spotify and all the major social media platforms. Enjoy the episode. Excited. So, okay, we were talking about Mission College. Break it down. Now, what's going on?
So Dustin Kirk, who's a very successful coach at Cerritos College, he was a Division II All-American, I believe, at King's College, as well as he was a Cerritos state champion. He just got the new head coaching job at Mission College, which is in Santa Clara. It's in the West Valley College District. Um, I think they're going to do a men's and women's program. He's excited. I talked to him, already posted an article on it. But yeah, they want to build wrestling back up in that CCS area. And so he's got a large undertaking, but he's up for it.
How many teams? So this is another junior college team in the
Yeah, I think they're up to 23 or 24 now.
wow. It was at 19 when I was at Palomar, and good to see it steadily growing.
Yeah, when I wrestled, there was close to 30. And then the generation right before me in the 70s, there was like 78 or 80
Wow.
programs. But granted, I've done all the statistics. The core teams were doing really well then. Some teams would get a medalist now and then, but still the competition was pretty solid because we had DVC, we had West Valley, Butte College. There was several more programs that were around, but then College of Redwood just came back. They were a team in the 70s, as well as Imperial had a team back when I was wrestling as well. So Imperial
Imperial.
in San
Uh,
Diego area, Imperial
wow.
College, yeah. So they're back. So I just think we need to start populating more and more of these programs to make it more and more competitive. Like I was telling Brian earlier, when you look at the landscape of the state championships of California, I wrote that article. I talked about everything funneling in the state. Um, the tier one kids, those kids rank top eight. Most of those kids are going to go on to college. They're right there, Division I, two. The tier twos, those kids rank 9 to 12. So if you combine those two tiers of kids, a vast majority of them, about 90 something percent, is going to place at the state tournament. It's that tier three, those state qualifiers um, that are like ranked 13th through 20th, maybe up to top 35 kids that are qualified for the state tournament. I can tell you right now, from my experience, what I've seen, those kids are not getting scholarships, but they would place in Idaho, Montana, Utah in those divisional state tournaments. And those kids are getting recognitions. So it's like a blind spot in our state. There's a lot of kids that get to the California state tournament. They have to go through a grind just to get there, a hard process. So you're pretty much, if you're considered a state Californian in California, for the most part, other than the few, I won't mention them, some areas you may not be as strong. But if you can go to California State Tournament, you're making the round of 16, round of 12, you're a stud,
Yeah,
hands
like
down.
Aaron. Aaron was a round of 12 guy. Aaron, welcome on, man. Glad you made it.
How you doing, Brian? Sorry, I was trying to get my headphones to get plugged in, so finally
No,
got
you're
them plugged
good.
in.
We have tech issues all the time, and we
All the
just
time.
make fun of each other and then laugh about it.
Yeah, some of them is just me. I'm just, old school. I got to get used to this new technology.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
doing, man?
Al's not used to having internet either.
How you doing, Oren? Good to see
What's
you, man.
up? What's up, Aaron? How you doing? How's Oklahoma?
Good. How you doing, buddy? It's good. It's a nice day outside. I almost was gonna do this interview outside, but it's a little cool inside, so
Yeah.
decided inside.
Well, we
Yeah.
were just
Talking about
talking
the
about the whole junior college thing and how a lot of times I think like a lot of guys that do well at the state tournament maybe don't really get a lot of looks or maybe don't feel like they're have that confidence to kind of go compete, in a four-year university right away. But you guys were teammates at Palomar. Can you guys maybe talk
Yeah.
about that experience a little bit? We'll start with you, Aaron. We'll go to Oren.
Yeah, I mean, for me, well, I mean, as far as Oren was just a great teammate, and I'm pretty sure Oren was actually the captain of the team. So, I mean, it was just overall, it was just a great experience for me. I mean, just from where I started out, I was originally at Cal Baptist that first year, but I was real young. It was basically like I just deferred my eligibility and just worked out. I competed in three opens and did pretty well in all three of them. And at the time, Roy Oliver was the assistant coach, and he's the one that brought me there. He
Mhm.
recruited me. But he like right at the end of the year, him and the Cal Baptist parted ways. Like a lot of people don't know the backing on that story, but you know, Coach O is what I was called him. And he always stuck with me and was always there in my corner at the opens and just poured a lot of time into me. He was and a couple other guys, but he's like, hey, I want you to go to Palomar. It's not too far. I know Coach Campbell. I know, Juan Mora and our coaches down there. He
Mhm.
was really, I guess, real close with them. So he was like, I want you to go down there and you could kind of just, I could check on how you're doing and how the wrestling's going. So yeah, I mean, and obviously I was teammates with Lauren there. We actually had a pretty good team. I was happy, with my time there. So
No,
What
it
about you,
was
Warren?
yeah, no, it was a great time. Junior college was like it was the perfect level for me. I wasn't a master's placer, wasn't a state placer, qualifier. So for me it was the next step to get up to the next step. I felt like junior college is also a great place for guys like Aaron, where they're trying to figure out where they want to go. And especially back then when we didn't have a transfer portal, he had Roy Oliver, world champ, veterans world champ, kind of giving him great advice. And so he was able to use Palomar as kind of like a trampoline to get him to the next level. And I loved it. I mean, my 3 years there, I saw three different teams. And I saw a mix of people that wanted to come back to wrestling. And then, the guys like Aaron that, they want their dogs and they train like dogs. And it was, eye-opening for me just to see a guy like that train and then get my hands on him and stuff. Kind of like I said earlier before we started recording. I'd always love to grab the little guys, just get their feel, get their speed and things like that. And I mean, I can always use my size and take advantage and do what I need to do. But there's always those guys, Fade Garcia up in Bakersfield, Aaron at Palomar, where I can't just enforce my will just because of my weight. It's always a fight, and I always love that kind of stuff. And I mean, saying I was team captain, that was cool. I'd been there for 3 years, but Aaron was more of like a natural leader. People watch him on the mat, people watch him in practice, kind of follow by example. He always led by example. So it was really cool. I loved my time with Aaron. And then it was so cool to see him go to the next level, national finalist, do all that cool stuff. So it was an amazing experience for sure.
Aaron, he said you would beat him up all the time too.
now we're in, we actually had a pretty good squad. We had some good coaches too. I mean, that's why I tell people, and I know Oren could, attest to this too. I mean, all our coaches wrestled Division One. They wrestled at the NCAA tournament from Byron at Fresno State to Brody at Cal Poly, and one. I don't know if Oren, we had one more at too at Cal
Oh,
State
yeah.
Fullerton. Three-time NCAA qualifier, rounded 12 finisher. So he's a guy that I also like to, go with. So we had I mean, I think that's what people tend to forget. Like our room and junior college rooms could be just as good as,
Yeah.
I mean, some programs out there. So, I mean,
So,
I got some pretty good training there.
so Aaron, we talked about this at length, and I always enjoy our conversations. I wrestled at Chabot back in the '80s, and I can tell you back then, it was not uncommon. It was tough. So people are, it's only junior college. No, it's not just junior college. It's tough. It's competitive. I had guys in my way. There's a guy, Monday Ekabar, he was from Nigeria. I think he was a Nigerian Olympic team member. And we had a guy from Uzbekistan. I think he was from East Lac. I mean, there were some
Yeah.
stud good wrestlers, but we talked about this. What explain our sport needs more coaches, more experienced coaches. I think we need to really encourage as coaches, kids, especially with this new 5-on-5 rule. You have the clock is ticking. Do you want to waste time? Maybe going to Division 1 and sitting out for a couple years because you can't make the lineup. You have to really look who's there and maybe starting to JC. Can you tell us about your experience going from JUCO, how you navigated from being in the top 12? They're like, hey, I still got unfinished business till now.
Yeah. I mean, like, being at Cal Baptist was like a good measuring stick, but I mean, I think now, I mean, you got to go where the coaches are gonna, give you that attention, and you have good workout partners. It's with only 5 straight years. I mean, you gotta really do your homework now and research. I mean, being as young as I was coming out of high school, I didn't mind that. I mean, people like I was actually supposed to be, held back a year because I was just so young. But I didn't mind it. I didn't. And this is what Coach O had taught me. He was just like, he was actually the U.S. National Development Coach at the Olympic Training Center before he got to Cal Baptist, and he was like, this is my job. Like I found guys that are like kind of raw and they need that guidance, like kind of like get you in a good room and a good environment, and he could really mold you into being an All-American and national champion. Like he put that in my mind from the get-go. And then just the way he led, like the way he was a coach, like he kind of guided you through that process. Like he was with you every step of the way. Like there wasn't a time where I ever felt like he wasn't there with, because you don't get that everywhere, and I'm sure, Brian and Warren and even you, Al could, see it in maybe some kids or maybe in their own experience. It's nice to have a coach that's just with you throughout the process. So, I mean, kids
Mhm.
now definitely have to do their homework and where they're going, what the best environment, they're going to have good workout partners, or are they just going to be, they're recruiting two other kids in the same weight class as you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be an interesting time. I don't think everybody knows for sure, right? And some people are even, figuring out if, how much eligibility they have left, or if you're at a program where you're kind of battling out with somebody, it's like, are you going to stay? And, you know, maybe that red shirt option isn't really there anymore. So it's going to be interesting, the dynamic of wrestling going forward.
I think it'll be better, to be honest with you. It's gotten out of control. You know, when
Yeah.
you wrestled 4 years, it was like 5 years, right? Because you had one red shirt, some
Exactly.
exceptions. But yeah, I think there's still some exceptions if someone goes on a mission or military service. I think that's in the rule. But beyond that, I think the 5 year rule is a good start. It's going to take a few years to filter through. But like you said, you had good coaches telling you to continue to wrestle. It's like my younger brother. He went to state his senior year, and he's like, "Oh, okay, I didn't play state. I'm done wrestling." But our head coach says, "You're good enough to go to wrestle at the next level." And he didn't believe him. One day, his friend took him to a freestyle tournament. He ended up going. He ended up beating a couple guys, and he's like, "Hey, that guy placed at state last year." So my brother went, and then he went on
Right.
wrestled at Chabot College and did really well. But it was just having the access and the people that sort of put that in your mind that you're good enough to go. I think more coaches, not that they're not doing it, I think we need to push more of our junior colleges to grow and get more kids. There's too many good kids not wrestling in college.
Well, I think it goes to like a perspective that we have to have as coaches where it's kind of like that. It's like putting the belief and the thought in the kids' brains and
Mhm.
just tell them like, hey, if you love the sport enough, keep doing it.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
there's junior college programs, at least in California, all over the state. Like if you just want to try it, go do it. And college is expensive right now anyways. Go get
Hmm.
your associate's degree and then transfer out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they definitely, the smaller schools need to be like, understand, like, and I've heard this from more than one person, there's been great wrestlers that came out of a junior college. Like I mean, there's names I could just go down, but it's just about your development in the sport. And I think like junior college is a great place to go and just get better without, you know, not necessarily the performance side of it, because it's still there. I mean, you still got to do, school and the wrestling part, but it's just you're on a maybe the I guess the environment's a little bit different. So it's just good to just grow, like just grow as a person, learn how to just all across the board from wrestling to your recovery to your diet. You learn to get that in check early on, and then you could kind of learn the college routine of going to class, and you just grow from there rather than right. It's like you coming in and we expect this, and this, and we're gonna review back to it at the end of the year. And it's like it kind of takes the fun away from wrestling, right? When we gotta do X, Y, and Z. And but junior college is actually one where you're like the coaches still care, they still want to see you succeed, and that's what I enjoyed about it. At least I got to, we like I said, we had really good coaches that really poured into us. So
Yeah, I mean, you look at Dustin Kirk. I mean, he was Southern section, round of 12, didn't place. He went to Cerritos College. Now he's won. He was a coach at two-time or three-time All-American in college, right? Now he's the head coach at Mission College, the new college, and he had coached there. That's just an example of you know, there's more than just wrestling. You get that experience. Now he's really giving back to the sport, like you're giving back. What you're in Oklahoma, you're coaching and teaching. That's huge. That's huge. You can take that experience. You know, there's always more to grow and learn. It doesn't have to end at the round of 12.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. And I think this is a good opportunity for smaller schools. I saw a post today saying how a lot of smaller schools are going to start getting used a little bit more in those first couple of years, where instead of taking a red shirt, they're going to take the experience at a junior college level, D3, a D2,
Hmm.
and then maybe take their chances at a D1 after that. And maybe this is a chance for those small schools. I mean, we always talk about Bakersfield because some of us went there, and then AJ Ferrari went there and had all that schools like that and then lower division schools, this is your chance to kind of get some of those stars and say, hey, start here, and then let's propel you to go to the Penn States, Oklahoma States, all that.
Well,
Um,
Orem, you talked about Cal State Bakersfield back when Joe C was the coach there.
mhm.
He would get a lot of junior college guys coming into his program. Next thing you know, they're D2 national champions, like Steve Markey went to Chabot, D2 national champion. You had Perry Shea. I think he went to Cerritos, didn't place high school state, went there, won JC State, was a Division One finalist. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. That was a pipeline. They created a pipeline with the JCs. You know,
Absolutely. And
I
I
th
mean, Byron Campbell with me, I mean, Aaron, you've already said it. I've been waiting to say his name. Byron Campbell, though, to me, probably the best coach I've ever had in my career.
Poway
Um,
guy, Poway.
yes, he wrestled at Poway. I think he graduated in the early 90s from
Hmm.
Poway, Palomar, Fresno State. Incredible man and just like an amazing coach and just always had that fire in him. But man, he's the guy who got me to Bakersfield. I didn't place in junior college. I qualified for the state tournament the one year. Um, but I had no accolades to take me to Bakersfield. I just had my hard work and really who I was. And he spoke to the coach for me, Coach Mike Mendoza at the time. They had me up on a visit and they were like, "Yeah, we want you." And they gave me a small scholarship. And I mean, to me, I just got recruited D1. I got a small scholarship, and I haven't had any of the accomplishments that I've worked to accomplish. And really, all of it was from the practices with that man, the drilling, all of it, to just how he just kind of like raised me as an athlete and delivered me on a platter to Bakersfield. There's a lot I could say about that man, but definitely one of the greatest coaches to come out of San Diego. I still have to say Brody Barrios was there in the room with us, beating us up. Two-time Poway State champ, Cal Poly. I mean, he was awesome. And then, like Aaron was saying, Juan Mora, Fullerton, national qualifier coming in, beating us up too. It was great. We had a lot of great guys coming in that room, either to wrestle or to train with us. State champions, national qualifiers, UFC fighters. It was pretty incredible what we had going through that room.
Isn't
Very
it
cool.
kind of interesting when you think about the ripple effect that you can have on not just somebody, but the impact that you have on somebody positive or negative is then going to impact how they treat other people in the future. Like Aaron, what I think what you're doing right now with the Oklahoma Jets, like it seems like you're trying to work with maybe some people that come from a background where they kind of just need a little bit more support. And I think what you're doing is you're kind of giving those opportunities to those kids where hopefully it's going to be something where it's not doesn't just stop with them. It continues to further it. Like you guys got impacted by your coaches and so have I. And that's just going to want to make you kind of pay it forward. And hopefully it continues.
Yeah, I mean, exactly, Brian, because you see the way the sport's going. I mean, we already know in California what the landscape is, and it's like, I would love if there was, like when Al wrestled, there's a lot more options, and these options aren't really around anymore.
Hmm.
Like Fresno State is wasn't around. That's like a place I always wanted to wrestle, and
Hmm.
they never had wrestling when I was in high school and when I was in college. So they dropped it before, and they didn't bring it back till after. So, I see that, and it's just like I remember those things. So I hope the kids that I coach, they want to give back to the sport and make a difference in the sport. If that's coaching or running their own club or the one thing I like about Oklahoma, I'll say, is that there are so many people involved in the sport. Like it's really in the culture, and like there's even like there's even people that get in like the administration side where they're adding programs, or their programs are strong because of it, so like all their college teams across the board are doing really well. They just added two more colleges this year, a D2 school and then a junior college actually about 15 minutes from me is about to start a program. So it's like it's actually a little bit of the opposite of California. It's just it's growing here. And I think with me just guiding the people in this sport, they know like, hey, there's options now. Like just because you're not going, to Central Oklahoma or, Oklahoma City University or Oklahoma, like you could still start at this junior college, and it's like it's just like it's one stop to where you're actually going and what you're trying to accomplish. So and they're on fire. Like they're going so fast. The JCs, I feel like they're adding every year. So I think there's about five now. And when I was wrestling, when I finished my wrestling out here, they just brought back a program, so they just barely had one, and now there's five. So hopefully it just keeps growing, and I would love to see that for California. It's just I hear the news, and I hear Cal Baptist is losing their program, and it's just makes me shake my head because people sometimes they don't realize how much talent there really is in California, like how much depth and competition. Al did an article, and that's why I wanted to put in there. And you either got to be there and coach, or just even be a spectator watching the sport, or wrestling in it. Like you really have to see it for yourself. And like for those kids that lose that opportunity, like me personally, maybe Oren could see it. Maybe Al and Brian, you see it too. It's just because I remember when Cal State Fullerton had wrestling, and once they got rid of it, it really hurts the area. It really it's like I was telling Al one time, just the kids don't go, they can't go and watch a duel anymore. They can't go watch Cal State Fullerton versus Arizona State anymore. They can't go to the camp nearby anymore. They can't, the local wrestlers can't do a little camp or clinic anymore. Like they lose all that. So the kids really don't have like an actual, like I'm not talking about watching it on, some like on their phone or something, like actually going and like be present and like watch like the wrestling going on. Cause I remember being able to go to Cal State Fullerton. Like I remember some of the guys' names, like even some guys that went from Palomar to Cal State Fullerton, and I thought that was really cool. So like I already had heard of Palomar. Like I remember some of the duels, like, like Oren said, a couple guys that, went on to the UFC. They were wrestling at Cal State Fullerton at the time, and I actually remember that. So with Cal Baptist losing their program, it's just like it's tough, because people don't realize what it does. Like that does to California now. It's like there's no Division I program at all in Southern California,
So
which is
when we look at Division One, the business model there, say we want to start a D1 program, you got to deal with NIL. There's the portal. You need big, big money. I mean, Cal Baptist, they were doing really well in the NAIA. I really think this is just my opinion. In the future, I would be more apt to start a JC program or NAI before Division One. Even out here in Idaho, Boise State was dropped. We have so much talent leaving the state, but for them to create a Division One program, the money it's going to take based on the business model running a D1 program, it's going to get more and more difficult, even if you're not with the big teams, right? To survive. So I think the future is D2 and below.
Well, thing about Division One, I saw this thing. It was now Ohio State, Iowa State, and it was talking about how much in the hole they were and how much revenue they actually created. And it
Mhm.
was like something like $500,000 revenue, and then there was like minus $2.5 million in the hole in terms
So
of like
who
how much for Iowa State. And it's like, okay, if you're trying to sell a Division One wrestling team to a school, and you're like, all right, we're gonna have an impact on the community, and we're going to have an impact on people, and we're going to provide opportunities to serve our community, and bring people into the town, bring eyes to the sport, and we're going to do all these great things. It's very hard, I think, for a lot of people, even at a Christian school, to look past the dollar sign. And it's like,
Mhm.
okay, yeah, we're going to do all these great things, but we're going to be minus $2.5 million, in revenue. It's like, do we really want to start this program? And that's going to be I think, a tough sell for a lot of schools. But I think you're right, Al. I think lower division schools, NAIA, junior college are going to be the kind of the path, I think, especially in
Mhm.
California. But probably, I mean, look what else is happening around the country. Like Aaron just talked about all these programs that are popping up in Oklahoma. They're not Division I schools, but they're lower division schools in their junior college.
Yeah, I mean, Iowa State, probably the football programs can subsidize that to minus $2 million. Cal Baptist doesn't build a football team that has that revenue, right? So some of these schools can get away with it because they have big money coming in, for the football. So that's a factor too.
But their
So,
But
football team is good, but they're not great. Like, I mean, they're trying to build this war chest because they want to go get guys in the transfer portal and kind of be like an Indiana University where it's like, hey, we got some money behind you. We just need to get the right coach now. You can almost just access limitless funds.
that's why it's important to keep the alumni strong, right? Keep the alumni, the history, have that alumni. I know Oklahoma has a far-reaching base beyond alumni, just business people involved that love wrestling, right? That's
and
huge.
that's what a lot of, I mean, that's what I see, and honestly, the wrestling out here is like people respect it across the board. If
Hmm.
you're a D2 guy or a JUCO guy, or you're one of the Schultz brothers at OU,
Hmm.
they respect because they know how tough wrestling is. If you place at a national tournament, you're gonna beat someone fairly tough. You're gonna wrestle, and yeah, I think they respect. That it's just something they appreciate. But one of the biggest donors out here, and he's donated to all the programs. Like Central Oklahoma's room, it's Division II, but their room, if you look at their room, it's 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 literally like a state of the art room. And this guy, he owns Paycom. It's where the Thunder play. So he's actually a billionaire, and he donates money. He, donates to Oklahoma State. They're one of the top NIL teams. He
Hmm.
donates to Central Oklahoma. He donates to Oklahoma City. He donates to all these programs. And unfortunately, the only one that hasn't accepted, and it's kind of the talk of the town out this way, Oklahoma City and Norman, is Oklahoma. And you could see they kind of went down a little bit compared to their history, right? Dan
Hmm.
Hodge, Schultz brothers. Like you go, like even when we wrestled them, and they had Brewer, they had Millhawk, they had All Americans. Like Maple
Hmm.
just finished. I know Andrew Howe had just finished. That was the year before, but when we
Hmm.
wrestled them, like they had Millhawk and Brewer and a couple other guys. So I mean, they had a good team. I don't think they're as strong as that team anymore, but they're the only team that hasn't accepted this. He's in Forbes magazine. You can look it up. He's the owner of Paycom.
That
Hmm.
is that the same guy
He
that started National Duels
I think
again?
so.
Yeah, yep. So he's giving
Wow.
up like this guy is an
Wow.
Oklahoma guy. He wrestled Division II, and this guy is changing, and he's from
Yeah.
Oklahoma. But you
Wow.
could see the difference in support that Oklahoma gives their programs and their
Mhm.
wrestlers than California. And it's just the truth. It's what I see. It's just like it's really in the culture. Like it really is. Like they it's like a connect. There's a connection. Like they want to see their high school guys and their programs to be strong. Like the Thunder is their professional team now, but they almost see their university as like they it's a little bit different. So yeah, I forget his name. You could look it up. He's like Forbes magazine tracks his network. I mean, that's how
Hmm.
much. That's how like he's got
Yeah,
a
Brian's
billion
looking it up
dollars.
right
So
now.
it's like someone owning Oracle, right? Like
It's
where
Chad
the
Richardson. Is that who it
Chad
is?
Ritt. Yep. There you go. So if you look it up, he's donated like thousands and like millions like across the board to all programs. So that's like someone owning the arena where Golden State plays, and he donates to Stanford.
Oh, he
Donates.
runs Tech Fall
Yeah,
Foundation.
he probably has more than he's really in like ingrained with wrestling. So I
Wow.
mean, just imagine someone that owns where the Warriors play, and they're donating to San Jose State to bring in wrestling, and he's donating to Stanford, and he's donating to Fresno State, like millions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those programs would not let go of wrestling.
Well, when
So it's
Simple
like,
Man Wrestling takes off and we get our media company kind of dialed in, we can kind of get back to the sport. But we'll
but
see
I
what
mean, he went
happens.
to a smaller school, Brian, and you see, like you don't like that's what for me, and that's what I want to point to the kids, and especially in Oklahoma, it's like there's been so much history and great things that have come out of here, where it's like take it as far as you can go. There's been some people that have world and Olympic. There's some people that have done great things in high school. Maybe they didn't do as well in college, but it's like, hey, you just find your niche and you excel in
Like
whatever you choose to do.
Jamel Kelly, fourth in California, he was a stud. Went to Lassen, right? Then went to Oklahoma, came up short. Silver
Yeah.
medalist. Great
Yeah.
coach. Great
But I
wrestler.
think Aaron's talking just beyond just like wrestling performance. Like I've heard Rob Cole say this, but you look at Cornell's biggest donors are guys that didn't even start. They were just on the
Right.
team and they get jobs at Wall Street and they're like, all right, we're crushing it. We want to get back to the program.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just because they care about the sport and it changed their life. We just want to make sure those kids see those opportunities, understand, hey, if you love wrestling and you want to go do it, and then it's
Right.
just a vehicle. At some point, you got to get out of it.
I joke with people, Brian. I go, David Taylor didn't just leave Penn State just for giggles, right? I'm sure um, Richardson, donated a nice site to the program, and it just made sense on both ends. He probably got a nice piece of land, and I mean, his you could probably see how much, which is probably a good amount, but I mean, that's what's great about Oklahoma. It's like I feel like for me, being around the sport when I was like younger and just kind of being around me from when I was younger, like I feel that for the kids coming up here. Like it's almost similar where, in California, like, just going back and visiting, it's like I don't feel that, like the kids, like obviously there's really great kids that, come out of California still, and it's only getting better. But it's like I would love to see, of course I would want to see it. Like I thought the way Stanford did great this year, and I thought, and that was really cool. I would like to see it, more in the California programs. That way it could show, because it's like, okay, why don't those kids want to stay in California and have like a super team in California? But it's like there's only three options right now. Brian, Al, Warren,
Hmm.
there's only three options now. So it's not like we got programs up and down the coast anymore, or up and down the state. So unfortunately, that doesn't exist anymore. Fresno State, UC Davis, Cal State Fullerton, now Calback, all those programs are gone. So
Hmm.
I do think there's certainly pockets of wrestling culture in the state. I think it's just like you said, it's not like a state thing. Like it sounds like Oklahoma State, or sorry, Oklahoma. It's more of a state thing. Like it's embedded in the culture.
Yeah.
Like I know in Bakersfield, it's like there are teams in town where they don't have a good team, but they draw over 60, 70 kids at least to their high school program. And in Clovis, obviously Clovis kind of speaks for itself, but it is ingrained in the culture there. But if you go like I lived in Santa Cruz in high school, it's not there in Santa Cruz. But a lot of people
yeah.
remember West Valley and they remember San Jose State. And it's like what we just been talking about. You take these programs out of the area, people don't necessarily go and see a dual meet. I mean, our option, and it was still a good option, was to go watch Stanford wrestling. That's a big reason why I got interested in wrestling in college in the first place. But I think again, we think about kids just having access to watching wrestling, collegiate wrestling, I think is going to try to hopefully inspire them to go and want to wrestle at the next
So
level.
here's a question for you, Brian. See, that's why we're doing this. We're trying to promote wrestling. We're trying to create connectivity with the community, educate people about why it's special where they're at. How many people know in Santa Cruz they got an NCAA champion and their first four-time NorCal champion came from Santa Cruz Harbor? How many
Well,
people?
I knew
I know
that
you
because
know.
I went to Harbor,
Mark
but
DiGeronimo.
I remember talking to there was a girl, she was a couple years younger than me, and she had the same last name. And I'm like, oh, do you know do you
Mark,
know like your uncle, like who is it? Like is in your family? He's like, yeah, it's my uncle. Like I
yeah.
don't like him. And it's like, yeah, but he's like had such a big impact on our school. Like he's probably, one of the most successful athletes to come out of Santa Cruz,
Hmm. Mark
Uh,
DiGeronimo, stud. Yeah.
yeah. But
But
yeah, they don't know.
Brian, or I will say, people definitely, respect California. I mean, there's been a lot of success, just across the board of the different
Hmm.
programs, from like Valdez wrestled down south. Al probably remembers the Valdez brothers. I mean, in the '90s, came out here with All
Okay,
Americans for Oklahoma.
that's right.
Munoz,
Calvary Chapel.
Obviously the Schultz brothers. I mean, there's been names that came out here, so I mean, there's definitely, they're still drawing from there. Everyone probably sees, so I mean, they know there's kids can wrestle, out here. They can do
Hmm.
well. So I mean, not every single person, but there's definitely kids that could come out this way and have success.
Yeah, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. I mean, you had the Schultz brothers at Oklahoma. Obviously the Valdezes. You had the brothers from Calvary Chapel. More
Yeah,
recent,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah,
The
um,
Wicks
yeah. Well, the Wicks went.
No,
before
No,
that.
that
the
Thomas
Thomas.
brothers. Thomas brothers.
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
They went there.
Jeremy and what's the other brother's
They're
name?
coaching at Fountain Valley now.
Justin. Yeah.
Justin.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. You had Guerrero. You had Jamel Kelly. You had many different guys. Steve Barrett came from Merrill Est High School back in '73. Was an NCAA champion. You got a lot of guys. There's a
Was
big.
Guerrero was Independence High School, right?
Yep.
Dude, they had a good team. They had a
Oh,
really good team. They
they
had
were
Guerrero, and then who else was in that group?
Like,
There were a couple other guys.
Guerrero. They had Gomez. They had a lot of studs. A lot of stud. The Palomino brothers,
Yes.
cousins.
oh
Yeah.
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 Yeah. They had a machine there when the CCS was really thriving. Back in the day, Overfelt was really doing well.
Hmm.
Independence. It was more spread out. Now it's basically Gilroy and Los Gatos.
Yeah. Where was
Yeah.
Klingsheim at?
What's that?
Klingsheim, where was he at?
I was one of his coaches, Liberty High School in Brentwood.
Liberty.
Yeah,
Liberty.
when I remember his brothers preceded him, did really well, all went to state section champions. But when David was a little kid, I remember he's looking up on the wall. He goes, "Yeah, my brother's won North Coast, but I'm going to be up on that wall 4 times as a national champion and a multiple state champion." That kid was serious, and so yeah, he's probably one of the best kids ever come out of Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where Alex Encarnacion coached for I think like what, 5 years?
Yeah, I think he moved to Arizona. Alex did a great job there. He took
He
over for
did?
Chapel. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he's
What?
moved out of state.
He's in Arizona right now.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I was trying to get him to come back to Bakersfield, but
Yeah, please.
yeah,
Dang.
nope.
I
He's
didn't
a
know he
good
was there.
coach. Did a good job. I don't
Yeah.
know.
They had a good setup too.
Oh, did he
I
leave
went and visited him
after?
during COVID, and I wrestled with David and a couple other kids, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good setup. That's too bad.
Did he plan to move because David's graduating? That's his nephew.
I don't think that. I think he just wanted to kind of prioritize his family a little bit more.
Mm.
I mean, his kid was getting older. Does he have two kids now?
Just the one, I think.
Okay, but I get it. I get it. And plus, too, like I think if you want to own land and you want to do all those other things, like Alex kind of randomly, I think, kind of became sort of a cowboy. So he's into the whole ranch lifestyle. So
Good
I think
for
that's
him.
kind of what he's got going on over there in Arizona.
Yeah,
Nice.
cool. Cool.
Warren, what world championship is that? Is that Zagreb in your
I don't
background?
know. I just downloaded it before I got on. I was like, I need
Do
something.
you
They all look the same, don't they?
fake?
It's
I was
all
like,
the
we got
same
Worlds
stuff.
coming up. Yeah, they do all look the same.
So the world's what next year? You got U23 this October, right?
Coming to
And then next
Vegas.
year is the Senior World.
Yes,
We got to get our
sir.
press passes for that.
Let's do it.
Well,
I'm
put
down.
in the request.
Yeah.
I
I'm
will
gonna
when the
try.
time comes. I
Put
did
it
it.
in.
I did it in 15. Dude, I had 50-yard line. I was right there. I was watching
Wow.
Burrow's match. I was watching Snyder's match, just like right there. It was great. Had the
You know,
Well,
I
I
rush.
think
came.
I've already got a place I think set up for us if you guys are cool with it. It's Dylan Bollinger's basement. He's got 3 rooms with like a bathroom, so
In
we could all just
Vegas?
camp out. No, 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 no. For sorry. My brain. I'm already thinking like NCAA's, but for yeah
Oh,
NCAA's, we'll have a spot set up. Yeah, he lives
he's
in
in
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis. Let's go.
Yeah, we're good. He already said. He said yeah 3 rooms, but you can bring like 20 people. And I'm like perfect. I'm pretty sure
Perfect.
that's what he said.
That would save a lot of money. I tell you, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
Buy him dinner or something, couple rounds of
Yeah,
beer.
Aaron, you can stay
Yeah.
too, but you have to commit to being a part of the show long term.
Yeah, it's all out. I mean, I got a pretty busy schedule right now, but I could hear. I mean, as much as I can make it on, definitely.
24 hours in a day, man. You compartmentalize it. 5 hours sleep. That's all you need.
There we go.
Yeah, Al doesn't even sleep. He just writes. He just writes
Yeah.
and computes stats in his brain the whole time.
That's it. That's it, man.
He's literal AI.
Yeah.
Literally AI with the help of AI.
The first time I talked to you on the phone, Pablo had sent me your phone numbers like, hey, you should get Al on. And I heard our conversation. I think I said hello and you introduced yourself, and then you talked for like 30 minutes straight. And before we were gonna have you on the show, I was like, man, I'm either gonna love this guy or I'm gonna hate him. And dude,
Well,
I
I
love you, man.
apologize
Like
for
you
that
just
if I
get
talked
after
too
it.
long. Geez, you should have told me to shut
No,
up.
you're good. Because again, like I think what if you don't know a lot about a specific subject, you can pick up on somebody and just based on their passion. Like
Mhm.
you have passion, man, and it's like it's hard not to love somebody that loves wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm losing a lot though. There's a lot to learn. Geez, there's so much to learn.
There's a lot to learn.
A
Well,
lot to
do you
learn.
like take some stuff out of your head so you can fit more stuff in, or
Yeah,
how do you
yeah.
do that?
Then I
Okay.
bring it right back in when I
Yeah.
need to.
He's got his hard drives that he
Yeah,
just
just it's now there's just so much history. That's like writing these new articles on all the history. I've taken it to another level with more depth. I got more historical data to sort of consolidate and make sense of it.
Well,
Mhm.
Al, I'm going to throw you a curveball right now. So,
Okay.
Final X, Helen Maroulis. Okay, is she at the point where she is the most successful women's wrestler from the United States?
At the senior level,
Oh, so how would you? What would be
I
like your
think
top three? Like
Ami
Adeline Gray, I
Elor.
think is one. She's
I
made
mean,
what, like 5 world teams, world Olympic
Who's
teams.
that?
Adeline Gray.
ah,
Yeah, she's up there. I think Morales is she's definitely it's like comparing Saitiev with Medvedev. I mean, it's like they're all just
for
right there, but
sure.
she's definitely right there in that circle. I think Amit Elor, if she continues to go, will
Yeah.
probably be the GOAT.
Well,
Yes.
she's had some health issues.
She had a
Yeah,
baby.
I'm not aware.
Well, yeah. Well, I thought there was something else to it.
There was, but I think it made it sound like it was like kind of leading up to the pregnancy almost.
Yeah,
Because
because that took her out last year, right?
I think she's fine. And can we just say she came back to the World Team Trials? How much postpartum was she? 2 months?
Something like that. That's pretty crazy.
That okay, that's like, and like I'm speaking for the women on this one, like that's more than crazy. Like there's a lot of women who after 8 weeks still can't even go for like a normal walk outside. And like this girl was ready to like beat some girls up. Like I knew her coming in. I was like, oh, they better be ready. Because the year
Even
she
her
was,
baby was getting a workout.
yeah, right. I knew that the year that she got pregnant, she announced, I was like, man, everyone is so lucky right now. They got to avoid her, but not for long. She didn't give anyone any time. Yeah, she's insane. She's a monster. I mean, what Helen's done is unbelievable, but I think Al's right. I think Amit's gonna be the GOAT on the women's
Mhm.
side. I think it's really cool.
I just hope she sticks with it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because like
Yeah.
Kyle Snyder is somebody where it's like, dude, he's already won like so much. That's like he's already said, yeah, I want to keep wrestling until I'm like 40. And
Yeah.
then it's weird that he's like a multiple time, national team member, world Olympic medalist, and he's like 28 years old. He's like 28 or 29, right?
Yeah, he's
I
about
said,
29. So him
yeah.
and Sajalayev both won world titles at 19 back in
Yeah.
15.
hmm
And then you got Taz Donoff. He's right there in the mix. And who else is coming up, right?
That's gonna be a fun world
Oh
championship.
man. Yeah. You throw Yazdani in there too. First time in 97. This could be
Who,
fun.
who's the fourth guy? So you have Snyder, you have Taz, you have
Yazdani and
Yazdani.
Snyder.
There's one more guy though.
Those four.
No, wait, hold on. So we said Taz, Sajalayev, Yazdani. Okay, yeah, that is four. I can't count sometimes.
The other stud's
Um,
a Bulgarian. He's a guy from Dagestan. He's the weight below.
Uh,
with Russia right now, I feel like they're in such a weird spot because I know with Taz, like it was right after he had beat Sajalayev, and it was one of those things where like, hey, if you are training with another country or if you're representing another country, you can't come into Russia to train wrestling or something like that. Which that was a big reason I think Taz was successful as he came from Sajalayev's academy.
yeah.
Hmm.
And he's looked different kind of ever since. He's had those
Yeah.
draft matches and
Well, he
Broders.
wrestles weird, man. Like that
Yeah.
match with Snyder. Like, I mean, I don't know. Snyder was the aggressor in all those attacks. It's just Taz would just
Hmm.
do some shenanigans and get, through a four.
That's why Snyder's cutting the corner quicker, man. He's not hesitating. No, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
It
interesting.
will. Yeah, those semis will be very fun. I'm interested to see who matches up against who. Um, my guess would be Snyder Taz or Snyder. I bet you they separate Snyder and Sajalayev.
I think the worlds are tougher now than they've ever been. If you go back to Dan Gable days, not take away what they did back then, it was the Soviet Union, one rep, and you
Mm-hmm.
had all the satellite republics. Once that opened up,
Hmm.
6 out of the 10 medalists are coming from a republic.
Yeah.
Now you got the second and third tier guys going to Bulgaria, they're going to
Greece.
Greece, they're going to France, and it's just like, my God, it's
Hey,
just,
but the US is starting to do the same thing. RBY is
Canada,
going to
Mexico,
Mexico.
Puerto
Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah, they're doing
yeah,
the same thing, which
I think it's great.
shows. I think
Let
it
them wrestle.
shows the level because Flo will always say this and say, man, just getting through the US to make it to the Worlds of the Olympics is such like a mountain to climb. And I always forget that because we get there and yeah, we may not medal or something, but man, just to watch some of these international guys go through our tournaments would be pretty fun.
I think it's good for
Yeah.
growth in
You
our
look at that.
sphere, right? The Pan American area
Yeah,
needs to grow.
yeah.
It's a cakewalk for the U.S. I mean, Cuba's down right now, but they still have a few studs.
Mhm.
And even I would say like Jack's Force, like he's not even on the world team. So it's like it's competitive in the US. It definitely is. We're like the new Russia.
Yeah, yeah. Who's the guy that went to San Marino? That was what's his name
I was
from?
just thinking about him. There are a couple brothers,
Yeah, the
Uh,
brothers.
Michigan.
Yeah,
uh,
That
Mich
means
yeah, it
Means, yeah.
means.
I mean, a little small little republic in Italy. It was great. Took the bronze.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, what he was able to do, not winning an NCAA title and then kind of having the effect he had on the international stage. Kind of similar to Heidley, not able to attain the NCAA title, had some big dogs in their way, but just able to put it together and just really showing, I can beat anyone. I'm at this level. I think they really showed that. And especially Heidley is showing it over and over.
So I
speaking
truly
speaking of those
believe.
guys, are we gonna get Aaron Brooks back? What's his deal?
I don't know. I'm going to see him on July 11th. He's running one of our camps, so maybe I'll get in his ear a little bit.
Yeah, it just when you first see him, just ask him, "Hey, when are you going? When are you coming back to wrestling?"
Yeah, I'll just say, hey, lay it out. What's the game plan? Snyder, I think he's going 97, boys.
Yeah,
I think him and
that might
Snyder.
be that might be. I don't know. That might be one of those matches where it happens, and like that might be kind. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to like say the wrong thing because like I'm scared of you guys looking down on me. But I think Aaron Brooks beat Snyder.
I
He
think so
could.
too. Yeah, I think so too. He's a smart wrestler, and I said it I think it was his true freshman year, the years that he'd got in trouble and we didn't get an NCAAs because of COVID. I was like, Aaron Brooks is going to win nationals this year. And it sucked we didn't get it, but then he won the next four. And I felt a little justified because to me, it was always like these junior and cadet world champs. I was like, some of them, I was like, man, these guys are good. But that's why others, you'll see like a Kurt McHenry or from Michigan, the guy who always goes into overtime. You're like, man, how'd you win your world title? What happened? Just
You
because
talking
they
about the
don't
40, 49 pounders, 41, 49,
49
who doesn't have any offense?
blonde. And no offense, young man.
He won the world title, right?
Yeah, cadet world title. Um,
Won the open world title, right? Over in Croatia. Isn't he from, didn't he represent one of the European countries?
No,
no,
it's not what's his face. I know
Yeah.
who you're thinking about.
always overtime matches, 2-3 matches. He's beaten some good guys, but very close matches. Well,
Yeah.
we can move on. I'll come back to him.
Yeah. So what would you guys think if the UWW really wants to expand wrestling to all the sort of the lower level, trying to build them up? What would happen if they went to a true double elimination?
What do
How
you
many
mean?
guys would
Like, are you talking
instead
about
of
at like
repertoire instead of a
at the World
repertoire
Championship? What are you
world
talking
champ,
about?
instead of a repertoire, they did a true third.
Why don't they do that? Is it too many matches?
It could be, well, you look at the picture behind you, there's four mats, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, it is space, but still, yeah. they would have to lessen the bracket or whatever. I don't know.
Because I do think the way they do it, we're not finding out our true
Yeah,
best bronzes.
yeah.
Um,
Now, there's guys going into the bronze medal match. If they did a true third, I know they wouldn't even make it.
I mean,
yeah.
we have that right now with the US Open and like the World Team Trials where it's like just a regular bracket and there's wrestlebacks.
Hmm.
How come we don't do the repechage? Repechage. It's like charcuterie,
Repertoire.
man. It's like one of those weird words.
Repentage, right? Repentage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one.
Is that right?
But it's like, how come we don't have that? Less
Right.
matches.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Remember
Right.
Orem back in the junior national days and cadets in the early, like the 90s?
Mhm.
You can lose a match and still get in a position because of your points. You can get into a medal match.
Interesting. They had like
Yeah.
a different carry system.
Yeah, you were to the point where if they had to figure out the seventh and eighth place match, depending on how many pins you have, some guys, even though they lost, they can get into a medal match.
Interesting.
It was a scoring system to where you can still lose and still you won't make the finals, but you can still place.
Well, I kind of like that.
Well, if we did
Yeah,
like pool wrestling, because they
yeah.
did that for I think a couple Olympics,
Oh, okay.
and they do that obviously for the World Cup. That'd be kind of nuts. You just get paired randomly with somebody.
Yeah.
That would be kind of nuts. And Will Luan was the
Yes.
Michigan guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Montini Catholic.
I did
Yeah, my
61
Illinois guy.
kg. That's the one I'll be watching. There's a guy
Which one?
from He's from Uzbekistan, 61 kg. He actually wrestled. He was an Indiana national champion for Menlo a few years ago. He won like 7-3 in the national finals. He beat a guy from Southern Oregon, but he he took bronze last Olympic Games. So the Armenian guy beat RBY, and then he beat that guy, and he lost to Spencer Lee.
Do you
And he
remember
came back.
his name?
It's hard to pronounce his name. I know
Is it
pronounce his name.
Abdulayev?
He's from
Oh,
Uzbekistan.
it
He'll
might
he'll
be.
be in there. I saw some people are like, we don't,
Umajan.
they're putting him real low, but I'm like, man, he wrestled a guy from Russia twice, and he was 6'6", and he lost on criteria, and then it was 3-2 like a few years ago. And so I'm like, he's good. He's good.
Uzbekistan produces a lot of good wrestlers. I mean, you
Yeah,
had Parson Fazdayev, Tamayev, and all of that heavyweight. They've had some good kids.
I think
That's a
it's
good.
Abdulayev. Yeah.
Blaze is gonna
Yeah,
run through him.
bronze.
I don't know. Uwev didn't run through him, so I mean, he's
Didn't
pretty
he
good.
just wrestle at RAF, Brian?
Yes.
So the Armenian guy, Arsen Hartunian did.
Hartunian. I remember him
So he beat
spanking Spencer Lee.
Hartunian. Yeah, he beat Hartunian at the Olympic Games. Hartunian's good, but I noticed when he wrestles like Uguay from Russia, and says she struggles really, really bad. But he beats like everyone else, though. Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Spencer versus Luke at Final X?
It played out how I thought it was going to play out.
Yeah. I didn't love like and not like they're not antics by Spencer, but man, he'd get hit in the head and you'd see the whole thing, and I'm like, oh man, like what is I just feel like he's fragile going into some of these matches. I'm a little worried. I worry about his fragility, basically. Because he's the best in the world. And I mean, when I was watching him in 2016, I was like, dude, this dude's gonna win world titles. And I'm surprised he hasn't won a senior level world title yet, but I think it's because of his like fragility a little bit.
He's
So
an
I
old
worry.
man.
Huh?
He wrestles and looks like an old man.
Yeah, which stinks. And I feel like he's getting close almost to the end, possibly, and he's not going to have that many shots. And I think he wins it this year, though. I'm pretty confident that he wins it. I was very surprised he didn't win it last year. I think he wins it this year, but we'll see. And that's why the Mitchell Messenbrink thing is so difficult for me, because you only get so many shots, you only get so many chances, and he hasn't won the senior level world title yet. So it's like, what are you doing?
I think you're jealous, Oren.
I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. But he would have been the guy this year, right? Most likely.
Do you get it? Because that was the song that he was
Oh,
popular on
that's
TikTok
funny. I was
for.
like, man.
Yeah. I was trying to think of a more clever way to say that, but it just came out.
So who's
I-
Burroughs wrestling in RAF? Isn't he going to wrestle a match?
Yeah,
in
no
RAF?
one yet. They haven't
No
got
one
a match
yet.
for it yet. But I'm interested to see who they
Give
put
me
up.
give me some Mitchell. Give me some Mitchell and Burroughs. That's what we want to see.
Ooh,
I agree. I would love to see that.
yeah, they got some bad blood there, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hey,
I know he.
before we switch gears, I kind of want to throw this out there because we've talked about like who could possibly replace the Brands brothers that like we would be like okay with. Do you think Spencer Lee in like a year or two could
No.
possibly do it? No? Hard
He,
pass?
no, and I love Spencer Lee. I just don't think he's a head coach. And I don't he's not a little kid, but I mean he's a young adult. I just don't see someone that I mean I'm gonna go to for everything at the college level for,
For Pokemon tips, yes.
yes.
Just
I
not
mean
for college wrestling.
and that's the thing. I see him streaming on TikTok and doing all that, and he's awesome. But seeing him as like a head coach figure, I don't see that. Not yet.
And
Recruiting,
they got a lot of alumni. Iowa. They got so much,
Yeah.
So I personally, I talked to this with the Iowa person, fan, or whatever you want to, and I was like, my thing, they should bring in Bill Zack, the U.S. Olympic coach, but they're
I'd
like,
take Bill
oh, the
Zadek.
Zaddix are, he's, I guess they had, not a falling out, there's something,
Mhm.
but they're like, they got to bring somebody like an Askren or a Burrows, but I'm like, Zaddix is,
Someone knows
like,
administration,
I don't
know
know
how to
who else
promote.
would,
But
that'd
you
be a
could
great,
bring Bill back, and then Mike Zadek. I love Mike
Yeah, I
Zadek, and he
love
was,
Mike.
I
that's
think, a
what they
big part
said.
of why Virginia Tech and Ohio State. Why do I keep saying Ohio State? Iowa State were having a lot of success.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's what they said. Mike had kind of a fun at Iowa State. Well, it wasn't even Iowa, but they're like, just, he completely, moved. He moved to back to Montana. But I'm like, Bill's the guy that's been kind of on the upswing on this whole USA wrestling, helping us win, big time, as a team. So it's like, I don't. He's the best guy you could possibly get from Iowa. Went to Iowa.
Or
So
Metcalf, who's at Iowa State.
He would
he's an Iowa State guy
I don't
now,
I
think
but
he's
know, but
leaving. He
huh?
Metcalf
ain't leaving.
is kind of, I think, the most obvious choice of what big major Hawkeye do you bring back to make the biggest statement? I think it would be him. Other than that, I think Tony Ramos would fill
I
in.
was gonna say I was
So,
gonna
I mean,
say he's the next option.
just because to me, it's a head coach is partially like a persona hire too. So, like a figurehead to kind of represent the program and who am I wrestling for? What does this look like?
Mhm.
And so it's not just all coaching. I mean, you have all the assistant coaches, all the national champs and all Americans that come in that beat your kids up. But who's the figurehead that, it's not just Iowa, it's Iowa and the brands. Who do I want? It's Kale and Penn State. Who do I want?
Mhm.
Um, so I don't know how many more options they really would have that, could like have that like, and I know Flo always says it, but more of like a vibes person than
Mhm.
like, oh, let's just get, a really solid coach in there. They
But
don't
you
need to.
need to clean up. I think you need to clean up the environment. I just think it's like this, like
Yeah.
Oklahoma. I've said this before, but Oklahoma State kind of got to the point where it's just like recycling the same
Mhm.
material and the same ideas. And David Taylor just brought in this fresh idea
Mhm.
and was still able to retain a lot of the cultural and traditional elements of Oklahoma State. You, it makes sense to do something similar at Iowa. But again, your options are limited because you don't have a David Taylor like kind of person. Kyle Dake is not David Taylor. Jordan Burroughs is not David Taylor. How are you going to make a similar splash and bring a similar draw and like you said, Oren, like influence the vibe?
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know. Again, I think Bill Zadek's a great option. I think Ben Askren would be a great option. But those I think are for some reason unlikely or people wouldn't necessarily consider it.
And
Mhm.
And Ben's come a
somebody
long ways,
that's
man. We got to get him on this show, Ben Askren.
I
That
would love
you look
that.
at him now, he looks really strong. He's come a long ways.
He's wrestling a match.
I know.
So okay, it was
Ralph,
he.
Oren, how did that come? How did that raft match come to be? I mean, I've heard a couple of things, but I'm like, and
I
Ashton
so he
is
went on the Flow show, and initially when I saw it, I was like, this has to be some sort of okay, it's gonna be a UFC fighter. Maybe they'll just kind of roll around, do whatever. But from the sound of it, I mean, he was kind of rolling in the room with the guys, and he's just doing more and more. It was last May that this all started, right? Last May and last June. It was just a year ago. Like he had the surgery just a year ago, in a sense. To
Mhm.
me, that's absolutely insane. Obviously, I want this to go off without a hitch, but when it does, I mean, I just, I think it's something like pretty, I've never heard or seen anything like this. Just like with a meet coming back after 8 weeks or whatever it was. Ben Askren coming back from getting a lung transplant to wrestling a full live wrestling match on a stage against a professional UFC fighter, I think is
From almost dying.
yeah, and he died multiple times on the table, he said, and it shows who Ben Askren is. I mean, the more I hear him talk now after his experience, I'm like, man, there's no one better for the sport beforehand with his technique and how he looked at it to now with just how he looks at life and
I mean,
everything.
when he was in the hospital, I mean, he was all, weak. Instead of watching Price is Right reruns, he was sitting there getting exercise, going back and forth and training. I mean, his mind was already like going to the next level. I mean, this was like a new challenge for him. It's like, man, like you said, it tells you who he is.
Yeah.
Great. I hope he does wrestle. Maybe him and Burroughs should wrestle.
Again, let's get a rematch.
No, don't do that.
They're too big. He's too big for Burroughs.
That might have been Ben's last freestyle match.
Against Burroughs.
Well, yeah, when he got whooped by Burroughs. Burroughs like shot him off the stage, and I guess Ben
Yeah.
like kind of whispered to him as they were getting back, kind of like, "Hey, you're gonna win, but let's just make a show of it." Like,
I love that.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I was just, Lauren, I was just surprised because he, even in some of, his pictures or interviews, he doesn't look like full strength yet.
No.
Doesn't look like he's fully recovered, but I don't know how long that takes, I don't know, if that's how it is going forward for him, or if he's going to be looking back how he was before, but that's really cool to see him back.
It's really cool. And I think this hopefully means we'll get Ben Askren in college wrestling because I think that's what we're missing. I love his AWA club. I think he's done amazing, but just like with David Taylor and M2, it's like we've outgrown this, Ben. Let's see what you can do with a college team. He would be so fun to see with a college team, especially he likes to not break the rules, but he likes to go outside of the box, do things that other people don't like to do. So I'd love to see a college coach kind of jump in and mix things up a little bit.
so
Well,
one of the
Nebraska.
things with like a lung transplant is the average life expectancy after you make the 12-month mark is like 7 to 9 years.
Mm.
Well,
I think his will be longer. I'm
I hope
hoping.
so.
Yeah.
But I don't think you would go to Iowa. I think you would. I think
agree.
Wisconsin would be a good spot for him to be at because he's already so ingrained with all the youth wrestling. It's just I think Bono's contract got extended. I mean, not that would be like the deciding factor, but I think it got extended like a few years ago.
I think we should see more coaches doing what Drescher did and letting other coaches take over. I think Brian Smith should do that in Missouri. I love Brian. I think he's great, but I think he should become a figurehead, let Ben come in, be the guy. Everyone's going to come on to wrestle for Ben. Everyone.
Mhm.
Sorry, except for Brian, apparently.
Well, no, sorry. I was just reading Chris Bono's contract extension when it ends.
When does it end?
2031.
Nice.
That's a long time, man. That's a long
It is.
time. I mean, I just find it so surprising.
Brian, are you able to look up? I did. I don't know. I know I read it just recently, about like the last 6 months. I heard they were trying to bring a smaller Division I school into Wisconsin.
Oh yeah, Green Bay,
Like
UW Green
Green
Bay.
Bay. There you go.
That
There you
would
go.
be
That
like
was
the recruiting spot. That's like the nicest
right.
part of Wisconsin.
Right. So I mean, that'd be cool if they could make that happen and Ben takes that over. It'd be like a smaller, but I'm sure he'll do a great job there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's not going to be Division I. I don't think.
Okay. Well, yeah, I didn't know. Wisconsin Green Bay. There you go.
There we go.
What they are right now. Are they Division I,
No, they're
Brian, or
Division I.
Division
They are
two?
Division I.
I was gonna
Wow.
say that I think it was, I don't know how big the school is or the population, but sure they'll be competitive. Yeah, I don't know Wisconsin and like what conference they would even be in.
Yeah.
Maybe the MAC
Mm.
or
Yeah,
shoot Pac-12.
Pac-12.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go out to
Little
Green
Rock.
Bay. Green Bay's cool.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, Little Rock. So I mean, sure they can make that happen. I like the Pac-12 though, right? I mean, Oren, like we talked about, like I remember once talking about when Pac-10 had like Oregon and Fresno State, and I mean, it
Portland
was like
State.
competitive. Yeah, Portland State. So it'd be cool. I mean, it's really cool to even see Northern Colorado and those teams going there because, man, there's wrestling out west. You just gotta build it. So
Mhm.
that's the start.
Got to build
Well,
it.
gentlemen,
Just gotta.
We've been going for a little over an hour. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we cut it?
No, I just want to, before I go, just tell Aaron, hey, Aaron, it's great. Honored to meet you. I knew who you were. I've seen you. We've had a good conversation. My friend, you got such a passion for the sport. Keep doing what you're doing. Get involved, not just coaching, but promoting too. We need your energy out there to get the word out there. Whether it's Oklahoma, California, Utah, Idaho, just keep promoting. Love having you on board. This is great.
Appreciate it, Al. Thanks, Warren. Thanks, Brian, for having me on.
It's great seeing you, Aaron. Great seeing you, Al.
What a great episode with Aaron La Farge. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on Spotify and all the major social media platforms. See you guys next time.